Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are here with the theme run for the winner of the last poll, which of course closed last night at about midnight. Actually, more accurate, it was 11:55 p.m., but 5 minutes isn't going to make or break anybody, right? So, with a vote of, I want to say 6-3, and again, I want to thank every one of you who participates in these polls. I really do appreciate it, and seeing as they're getting more popular, I'm actually super happy about that. So again, I thank all of you for your participation. But moving on, with a winner of 6-3, we have Dutch from Predator. So consider yourselves fortunate to see what Dutch can do, which means that Conan will not get his shot at the trials until Sunday. Actually, more like Monday, which is going to have to happen before I head back to work. That's right, I am going to be heading back to work very soon. I don't quite know how I feel about that, real honestly, so I guess, yeah. But, yeah, I have to be financially stable somehow, and we're not going to be doing it without going back to work for PetSmart. But things may or may not change, who knows? I'll just make sure to keep you guys updated. Anyway, on with the thought process on how Dutch is going to work. Now, as we all know, Dutch is the main character of the movie Predator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fitting, since this is Schwarzenegger Appreciation Week. He is a trained soldier, so a lot of what you may be thinking I'm using for Dutch is going to be based off of, look, he's big and he's got a gun. Not quite the thought process I went into with this, actually. But, firearm being represented by stone shot, partially because I just didn't want to use bouncing blades yet again, but also partially because it does kind of fit the theme of a machine gun a little bit better. But then throughout the movie, when Dutch realizes that his firearms are ineffective against the Predator, he turns to using traps. Traps and acquired knowledge, which is why the rope that I chose is increasing my run speed and my evade chance, even though not by much. It's to demonstrate that he's using something other than muscle and brute force, which is also evident in the abilities that I'm using, as I'm going with Magma Rush, Ward of Chaos, and Shock Nova. So, a lot of this being based around the end of the movie where he's taunting the Predator. I'm over here! Kill me! Hopefully you all remember that. From the, really good Predator movie. Alright, so I know who I want to see first. No thanks. Now, since I can just talk to you over and over again until I get what I want, and that was what I wanted, but I hit the wrong friggin' button because I'm a genius. We will start at the Living Courtyard, so we don't have to deal with you at level 3, because you are a fucker at level 3. Now, that having been said, I'm not only going with... trap setups, because that's not the only thing I'm thinking Dutch is going to be good at. But he is the sort of person that is interested in setting things up so that he has an advantage on his opponent. Keep in mind, he was able to figure out that the Predator's vision was, or at least the tools that it was using, were almost entirely based on reading heat signatures, and he was able to cover himself in mud to make it harder on the Predator to spot. So it makes sense that he's the sort of person that will look for an opening in his opponent's armor and then try to exploit that by any means necessary. Shiny. It was a very... it's more than you typically expect. Okay, so I could take this You know, it being, you know, the whole Dutch thing. Or I could take something that actually, you know, functions properly. Now, in Dutch being a soldier-type character, I could justify Aqua Beam as being like a sort of missile launcher, but I'm probably going to end up taking Frost Fan because, one, that's going to help me control my enemy's movements, and two, to me, that says shotgun, and whereas shotguns are technically outlawed weapons of war due to the cruelty with which they do their damage, that's one of those things you have to remember is that here in America we're not big fans of the rules of warfare, so American soldiers can still use shotguns. Also, this is not going well. So what I really need, and I'm going to go back and get it now because I'm having a lot of trouble with the run as is something that I can use quickly just when enemies close in on me. Because as good as Shock Nova is, one thing it's not good at is reacting quickly to threats. Also, I'm playing absolutely horribly right now. I apologize for that. So hopefully I can get my bearings straight before I just flat out fail this run. There we go. Alright, so because of what you are, you're not going to come any closer, so I'm just going to have to use my quote-unquote firearm. So I am having to play this a little, and by a little I mean a lot, differently from how I normally play it. I'm normally a much more mid to long range aggressive player, so what we're working with here is a good deal different from what's normal for me. So I apologize if things are looking a little iffy. You're just going to have to trust that I'm working on getting my bearings right now. Or, you know, I could just game over here. That would be nice. Okay, that piggy bank could actually come in helpful. We're just going to carry it with us for a little while and see what we can do with it. And yes, I am going to take a bit of a risk here. I'm aware that considering where my health is at right now, this is probably the stupidest move that I could take. But I'm also not liking the idea of using a potion on level 1. So I am going to play it a little riskier than I probably should. And we are just going to have to be super extra careful about what's going on. There we go. Very careful. I'm going to have to play a little bit slower, a little bit more defensively. But that is what Duff would want. Or at least what he learns to do, because our man tried the more direct route, and when it didn't work, he had to slow down and be a bit more methodical about his actions. So that is what I'm going to have to do as well. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up the stone shot upgrade. There we go, that's much more like a machine gun. Who needs this hunting rifle bullshit? Cartographer's Quill also works on a whole different level, because it's at least in some way a metaphoric way of saying, hey, Dutch is leveling up by becoming smarter. He's not just trying to brute force his way through dealing with the Predator, he's actually trying different tactics. Which is not only what I'm having to do, but of course what Dutch had to do in the movies in order to escape the Predator. There we go. There we go. I don't think there's anything over there. Smooth. Spend all this time talking about how we're being more careful and methodical, and you just go right into a goddamn hole. Man, that's perfect! Actually, since I'm not too worried about critical hit chance, maybe I will take this. What kind of a 15% improvement on top of a 7.5%? So we're looking at 22.5% evasion chance? That's actually not bad. That's a little over 1 in every 5 attacks, which is real nice. Hold on. There we go. Yep, Frost Fan is definitely what I needed. You go away. Oh, hello, Amulet of Sundering. So once again, a little bit of an offensive boost, I think is... Hold on, does Grimoire of Ruin work with Ward of Chaos? That's actually something I want to look up. So give me just a sec, because I want to inform not only myself, but the lot of you. So Wizard of Ragandia. Wizard of Legged, perfect. Grimoire. Groomer, perfect. Thanks, Google. Okay, I'm just going to spell it out then. Alright, so then let's look up Ward of Chaos and see if Grimoire of Ruin works with it. Well, the wiki knows nothing, so that's nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna take it and see what happens. If it works, cool. If not, then oh well. I've wasted my money. On sillier things. So sorry about that little break in the action there. There we go. Alright, so our little risk paid off in the long run, but yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous about things. Alright, and because I have the Ward of Chaos, not Ward of Chaos, the Cartographer's Quill, let me just go ahead and fill in this little corner in the map here. Chirp indeed, sir. Chirp indeed. So I think it should come as no major surprise that I actually have quite a soft spot for the movie Predator. Like, it's not just because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's because it was a really interesting and really well done, like, action horror movie that really played well with what it was trying to do. Like, the villain was frightening not because it was just big scary monster guy. The villain was frightening because it was clever, because it was a hunter, because it was strategic. And things that you wouldn't see in modern movies because everything just has to be big and cool looking, and there's no room for intelligently written characters anymore. There we go. Bouncing Surge. It's really hard to justify Bouncing Surge with Dutch. Like, I'm trying my hardest to figure out how I would do it, but I just can't. So, in the interest of keeping things kosher, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna do that thing where I cheated the hell out of it with Bouncing Bubble with Scorpion. In this case, I can't. Dutch does not have future technology, so unless I'm doing a Ghostbusters character, which I'm not, gotta leave that one go. There are other characters, of course, that I can justify that for, like any electric-based character, any character that has an attack that kind of like bounces around, like if I were doing, like, I don't know, maybe like the first example that came to mind is like Felicia or Taukaka from respectively Darkstalkers and Blaze Blue. Then I could justify it poorly, but justify it nonetheless. But I'm playing Dutch. And I would say, honestly, that until movies like True Lies, I'll take that. What you have in Dutch is probably one of Arthur's most interesting characters. Though, to be fair, his role in Commando was interesting, but let's be fair, that was more so just schlocky action movie, and less so like a character development project of any sort. Which is not to say that it wasn't just fun, because that's ultimately what Commando was supposed to be, was just dumb fun. Was it a gripping character drama? No. The character had drama. The character had motivation. But, you know, it wasn't exactly what I would call a shining example of how to do dramatic acting. Though it was a pretty masterful example of the action movie one-liner. Remember when I said that would kill you last, Benny? I lied. And of course, who can forget the ever-popular blow off some steam, Bennett? I am back before the era of movies where characters had to be, like, sleek and quick in order to be action movie heroes. We will definitely take this. Oh wow, they're like right next to each other. How often does that happen? Alright, Anders and Iris working together. This is a very rare compilation of rooms, I must say. I was also hoping to kind of get Frostfan upgraded, but you know how the game likes to treat me. Alright, let's finish filling in the map for sake of Cartographer's Quill. How's that looking, by the way? 11.99, loving it. There we go. Yes, I do like Word of Chaos more than I used to. Alright, so I could also justify Rock Solid Tomahawk, but I don't really remember if Dutch used a tomahawk in the movie or not. It's been too long since I've seen Predator. But I have seen it. And you know, I think of all of the Predator movies out there, it's probably still the best one. It's got a regrettably low score on Metacritic, but the things that have a high score on Metacritic are, let's face it, not exactly great. I think it's obvious that they're grading on a scale that can be most adequately summed up to, does it fit my political agenda? Which, last I checked, that's not how you grade movies, but, you know, maybe I'm just one of those old school people that still believes in the merit of actual talent. But, I mean, of all the Predator movies, and let's kind of go over them. There was Predator, fucking brilliant. It is definitely the movie that introduced us to a horror movie monster that could be more than just... I mean, to be fair, what it was in all technicality was just a slasher villain. But in how it worked, it was one of the best slasher villains. This is a villain that got his work done through intelligent moves and technology, not necessarily just overpowering people. Well, what about Freddy Krueger? I mean, say what you want about Freddy, he's an iconic slasher villain. But... And for as snarky as he wound up being and after his serious introduction, he still more or less gets the job done by just overpowering people. He just does so with magic instead of brute strength. Okay, when I look at it that way, yeah, the Predator's just overpowering people, but it's not due to it just being more muscular and just bigger than its victims. It does it with technology, cunning, and skill. And keep in mind, the Predator is not out there just dealing in like open hand-to-hand combat or anything. Oh, I hate these rolly guys. Oh my god, I hate them so much. Especially when you have a build that isn't very well designed to hold them off at a distance. Ugh. Okay, so I am now back down into the danger level. I pulled myself out of the danger zone only to get put right back into it. Because of a room full of roly-poly dickheads. But I mean, we also have to bear in mind that I am using a dash other than Chaotic Rift, chaotic grip, of course, being the thing that makes a lot of defensive maneuvers possible. So what I'm having to do is find other ways to lure enemies into some crap. Easier said than done. Alright, we got the Frost Band upgrade now, that's gonna help. Rippling Rupture. I don't think Rippling Rupture is the one I'm thinking of. Quick decision. Come on, die already, thank you. And... there we go. Alright, so I have two means by which to revive from death, so I'm going to be banking on those and hoping not to run into any more roly-poly assholes. But once again, playing into the whole idea. Oh, that was real fair. Wow, I am playing really poorly. I'm sorry, everybody. There, at least I got her down before she got her signature off. Vortex Veil. I don't know how I would justify that with Dutch, so we're not doing that. Alright, so going back to what I was saying about Predator, though, my knowledge of the Predator movies is a bit incomplete. I know the first Predator movie is friggin' awesome. Second Predator movie was not as good, but it was still good. I mean, you're essentially taking the same concept of Predator and moving it from the... Didn't I just say no more of these guys? You're now moving it from the jungle to essentially the urban sprawl, which gives the Predator all sorts of interesting things to play with. It's basically same danger, different setting, and again, I think the idea is sound. They might not have executed it the best, but I mean, you're not downgrading much from, you know, from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Danny Glover. Hold on, I forgot I had this. Whew, that might just save my bacon. And at that point, a gap in my memory begins where I'm just not sure what Predator movies there were. I know there was like Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and this is something that kind of... The only reason why the whole Aliens thing is a thing is because, one, we are dealing with, you know, outer space entities. But two, it's because at some point or another they decided to combine Aliens and Predator into, you know, Aliens versus Predator, which was a really interesting idea for the comics. Didn't work out so well for movies, though. And you know it didn't work out so well for the movies, because when you mention Alien vs. Predator to people, as far as the movies are concerned, they usually stop and go, oh, that's... Which I will even go on record as saying that they did some interesting things with the first Alien vs. Predator movie, and then ruined it all with Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I guarantee there's a contingent of you out there right now that are going, God, why did you make me remember that film? I was hoping to forget it with the able-bodied help of Dr. Bleach. Well, yes, there is that, but... You know, Oh, finally we get to upgrade Magma Rush. Christ, that took long enough. And it's strange that I haven't found another standard to fill in that 5th slot, but oh well. Yeah, I noticed do not go on cooldown. I forget what you do, but I think it has something to do with fucking with my signature, and I don't want to fuck with my signature. There we go. Another little bonus for the Cartographer's Quill. Up to about 20% bonus. Oh my goodness. There we go, Ward of Chaos getting the job done. No, I don't want to trade my health for gold. Are you kidding me? I have plenty of gold. Speaking of which, was there anything here I wanted? I mean, I could take the raspberry cookie box. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Raspberry cookies, of course, being instrumental to Dutch's plans, as he planned to throw the Predator off with Girl Scout cookies. Yeah! Please say someone believes me when I say that. There we go, perfect. That was a beautiful fight in which my enemy didn't get to do a damn thing. But unfortunately, that gap in my memory about the Predator movies comes to an end with the most recent Predator movie, the 2018 release, The Predator. Oh my god, what did the writers do to that movie? Like, I wouldn't dare touch a character from that movie for my Theme Run series, because I think anything deserves better than The Predator. Oh my god. I'm talking talk about being insulting to fans of the original Predator. That movie was so lacking in lore and attention paid to the source material. Like, what the hell were they thinking when they made that movie? It's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's just action movie schlock. Just work with it for what it is, lol. See, here's the thing. The original Predator was also action movie schlock until the Predator showed up. Then it became a much different affair. Then it became a horror movie. And for healthcare card, what does that do again? Discounted potions. Okay, not sure I need it, but okay. Okay, there's nothing here that's really that Dutch-like either, so letting that go. Might end up finishing this run with only 5 Arcana. Not that that's never been done before or anything, I'm just saying. Okay, so what here will get the job done best? I mean, I could take cushion flip-flops and get by pretty comfortably, but I think, just all things considered, I mean, if that had shown up earlier, sure. I don't know. I think because I already have a couple of really good defensive relics, I'm pretty okay with what I have. But yeah, the raffle ticket and the magician's hat, there are all sorts of things that are there that would be good had I not already found things that work out for my needs. Now, the obvious thing I could do is either drop Ifrit's matchstick or the Gaia's shovel for it, the Gaia. Which I don't think I'm going to take raffle ticket. On the other hand, pushing flip-flops you can never go wrong with. Wait, did I drop the right thing? I thought I dropped the matchstick, not the fiery paintbrush. Oh, game, you thought you pulled a fast one on me, but I caught you. So yeah, my recommendation to any of you out there looking for a really interesting not only horror movie, but a bit of a subversion on action movie tropes, by all means check out the original 1987 movie Predator. Okay, hold on. Just spent a huge chunk of time in that fight just getting my ass kicked. I think I'm going to say no to that because I already have a lowered critical hit chance, and that's not going to change things by much. I'm going to buy this health potion, though. And the less said about the Predator, the better. And I guarantee that they chose that movie title strictly to try to confuse people. Because, I mean, if you're trying to rewrite history so that your shit looks better, the best way to do it is to pretend like the other shit didn't even exist. Like, no, ours is the original Predator. What are you talking about? But there's all this lore and really interesting writing and character building, as well as historical documentation and reference that says otherwise. No, ours is the original Predator. And that, of course, brings me right back to Jesse Ventura in the opening of Predator going, "Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here." And yes, I know that, the word faggot isn't cool to use in modern day, but I'm sorry, some words just perfectly exemplify what you're thinking, and that is one of them. I don't know who these people were that thought that the Predator was a good idea, but and the slack-jawed faggot line fits perfectly. Oh, Dark Sage, you're gonna be in so much trouble. I'm gonna bite my ass. I'm not gonna apologize for my honest opinion. Hold on, let's wait for Frost Fan to be back up. Shotgun the hell out of these guys, or at least try to. Instead, I'll assault rifle them. Beautiful. Arc Sphere is another basically trap type move that functions very well with what Dutch tends to do. And we're also going to drop this and take the electrifying schmock. There's a schmocker born every minute. What does that even mean? Wards of Chaos. There we go. I am a fan of Arc Sphere, by the way. I didn't used to be. It used to be that my opinion on it was, God, why do I need to get so close to do any damage? And then I started playing around with it. It's like, wait, but the attack lingers. Really adds some usability to it. Should have dropped the Wards of Chaos first. I was really just thinking, get in there, get that damage done. There we go. Beautiful. And that is Dutch in a nutshell. Like I said, go check out Predator. That movie is awesome. But if you see the word "the" in front of Predator, avoid it like the plague, because it basically is a plague. The Predator is basically responsible for killing the entire franchise. And it makes me sad because Predator is awesome. It's a really cool movie villain that... Again, one of the things that makes Predator really interesting is that underneath its technology and its frightening appearance, it's just as vulnerable as we are. And that's one of the biggest, most egregious gripes that I have about the Predator, is that they do away with that. They basically make the end movie villain just a big walking, like, invincible tank until the writing says it isn't. It's stupid, and I hate it, and I want it to die in a fire, but the original Predator movie, please, go watch the original Predator movie. It is so well done, and I love that movie to death. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you guys very much for watching. You may have noticed that I forgot to get into D&D Tales. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Who knows? In and amongst thinking about what the next poll is going to be, but... I appreciate you all very much for coming and spending some of your free time with me. Drop me a like, leave me a comment, hit me up on my social media, especially on Discord. And I will be back with more stuff in the near future. You guys take care of yourselves. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.